Okay, so I was doing my Bible study and I want to share a verse with you. Um, 2 Samuel chapter 18, verse 33. This is David, and he's talking about Absalom. This is after Absalom, his son, dies after they were in a very bad war against each other. He finds out that Absalom is killed, even though he requested that nobody hurt his son. It says, Then the king was deeply moved and went up to the chamber over the gate and wept. I realize that means like everybody could see him. He's in the chamber, like over the gate that closes in the city. So everybody see him crying, right? And as he went, he said thus, O my son Absalom, my son Absalom, if only I had died in your place, O Absalom, my son, my son. Now, what I've always wondered is, and God has always like opened up new parts to show me how why God says David is a man after my own heart. It's a lot of different characteristics, right? Because when we talk about being made in God's image, that we all are made in God's image, but the world distorts us, and if we come back to the Lord, He'll heal us and purify us and sanctify us so that we become more like Him and look more like Him. And I feel like David is a great example of that because there are many different ways where what he says and what he does lines up with how God is and how God acts, or how Jesus ends up being in a human form. But this right here like wrecked me because he is crying out for his son, wishing that he died in his son's place. His son, who mind you killed his brother, but he slept with his um, dad's women, not his wives, his concubines, but still his dad's women, the king's women, and eventually took over the kingdom, took over part of Israel, and overthrew his dad to be king because he didn't feel like waiting to get voted in after his dad died. Just like, you know what? I'm better than him. I can do it better than him. I'm gonna take over, and he succeeded very well. But in the end, David's army is stronger as always. And it's other little things that he did that just weren't right, right? And yet and still, David was like, forget all that. He's crying out in front of everybody, like, if I could have died for you, I would have. That's how much I love you. Like, you're my son, you're my blood, you're my flesh and bone. This is one of the ways that David is like Jesus, right? Because he's like, even though you're evil, even though you're wrong to many people, even though you're the enemy, you're the sworn enemy, you have taken the opposite side of me, yet and still I would have died in your place. And Jesus was like, and you know what? I will. I am going to die in your place. And he did die in our place. Even though we were sinners, even though we were all the bad that we could think of, all the things we could have done, all the things that we will still do, knowing him, knowing that he died for us, he still died for us, and he still shows up for us, and he still loves us. And it's like, wow, you get why David does it, because that's his son, and God is like, that is the same reason why we do it, because you're my daughter, you're my son, this is why I'm doing it, because I want you back with me. And that's how David, like, I would give up everything to have you back with me. But it was just so moving and so beautiful to read that verse and see Jesus in it.